2-0 pitch. Swung on high fly ball to left field. Abner Arroyo back to the wall, looks up, and that one's going to sail out of here. Vic Davila with a home run here in the 8th inning. It's now 4-0. And if Carlos Rodriguez does not hit a home run tonight for Quebec, Vic Davila is now sitting in a Triple Crown seat. His 16th of the season, tying him for the lead in the league. He's the league leader in batting average and runs batted in. I love Davila's reaction coming across home plate. First pitch to Roger, a swing and a miss, 0-1 the count. PA announcer John Dolan does his familiar whatever after the home run hit. Davila comes across home plate after the home run and tips his cap up to John Dolan. Touche.
In a previous episode, we had discussed how some of the Quebec Capitals players got all bent out of shape in 2002 when PA announcer John Dolan did his whatever after one of their home runs. Well, Vic Davila showed how to handle it with class. That little tip of the hat was perfect. And Davila was a classy and very, very talented player. I'd say that during the Rock's first 3 seasons, Davila and pitcher Joel Bennett were Brockton's most formidable opponents. They really raised the credibility of the league. Well, after Davila's home run helped Allentown win the opener of that series, Brockton desperately needed to win the next 2 games. Scott Martin and relievers Tony Stutz and Connor Brooks combined on a 12-strikeout 5-hitter as the Rocks won 5-1 to even the series. Then, in the series finale, Brockton's bats came to life.
Mike Davis coming to the plate now, batting .250, 6 home runs and 16 runs batted in. He's been swinging the bat pretty well lately. First pitch to the right-hander. Davis is hit pretty well deep to left field. Mackey going back to the warning track, to the wall, and the yard is not big enough to hold that one. Home run, Mike Davis. You know, Ed Noddle said something during the interview, the pregame interview with Josh Mauer. I thought it was kind of interesting. You know, he said that they were looking for home runs from Craig Lewis, maybe as many as 15 to 17 this year, and they're obviously not going to get that. He has 4. But this is Lewis's first year as a position player, and he's batting over 300. He's had to make a lot of adjustments in his first year at the serving as a batter, and I think he's done an outstanding job, and I think if he sticks with it, the home runs are going to come. Blucher rocks and fires, and that pitch is lined down the first base line, and that one is going to drop in for a base hit. Lewis rounds first, headed for second. Schmidt up with the ball. Here comes the throw to second base, but it is offline, and Lewis slides in with a leadoff double. Line drive, right center field. Mel Rosario gets it done. A base hit. He makes the turn, and he will chug into second base. An RBI double. It is 7-4 Rocks. Bobby Brown takes a pitch inside. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. Payoff pitch. Ground ball over the mound. Williams can't come up with it. It's into center field. They're waving Rosario home, and Harris will throw to the cutoff man. An RBI single by Bobby Brown. It is 8-4 Rocks. And the hits just keep on coming. 3-1 pitch with the runner going. That ball is hit deep to right field, way back, and the yard is not big enough to hold that one. Home run, Nestor Smith. Nestor Smith creams one over the right field wall. His 7th home run of the season. It is now 10-4. 0-1 pitch. Swung on and lined into right field. Coming hard is Brown. A diving catch by Bobby Brown. One of the best defensive efforts we have seen from Bobby Brown. A full extension, diving towards the foul line. Gets a high five from Fontella Jones, who gets a 1-2-3 inning with Schmidt flying out to right to retire the side.
Brockton won that game 10-5, so with the second half winding down, the Rocks were only 1 game behind first place Quebec, and that is where they were headed next for a crucial 3-game series. Brockton and New Jersey had the most potent offenses in the league. It was mid-August, but Christmas was about to come early to the Rocks, and it was New Jersey taking on the role of Santa Claus and delivering an unexpected gift to Brockton in the form of outfielder Darren Blakely. A former fifth-round draft pick of the Anaheim Angels, Blakely was a gifted player. He could run, hit, both for average and power, and field. Good glove, excellent arm. In 5 minor league seasons, he had reached Triple-A ball before stalling out and had come to the Northeast League in 2003 to try for a second chance, and he was getting noticed. With New Jersey, he was batting .307 with a .574 slugging percentage. 13 homers, 15 stolen bases, excellent defense, and suddenly the Jackals traded him to Brockton for what was announced as cash considerations and 2 players to be named later. At the time, observers felt one of the players would be third baseman Jake Daubert, who was from New Jersey. But it wasn't Jake, and as far as I can tell, it wasn't anyone else either. Now, some cash may have indeed changed hands, but no player from Brockton went to New Jersey in 2003 or in 2004. So why in the world would New Jersey give up arguably its best player to further strengthen a rival that it just might have to face in the playoffs? I never got an answer from Rox officials, but I did talk to several reliable contacts with New Jersey, and I was told there was an incident or several incidents. Since I could not confirm what I was told, I'm not going to publicly speculate or pass along potentially false rumors. Suffice it to say, New Jersey felt that Blakely's negatives outweighed his many positives, so much so that they were willing to basically give him away. But giving him to Brockton was a boneheaded move that they would live to regret. So Blakely was with the Rox as they boarded the team bus for the long, long ride to Quebec. It would be an especially long ride due to what happened at the border. So usually what would happen at the border is a guard would climb aboard the bus, ask if there were any firearms or tobacco on board. We'd tell him no, and then he would say, okay, get off, and we would proceed along our merry way. Not this time. After they learned we were a baseball team, the guard made this announcement. I'm going to ask this question one time. Are you carrying any ephedrine? It is illegal in Canada, and if you tell me now, we will seize it and you will not be in trouble. We are going to search all the luggage, and if we find some that you do not tell us about, it will cost you $10 per pill. Eh? After a few moments of silence, a player raised his hand and meekly said, I have some. Then another hand went up, and then another, maybe half a dozen. Now, I'm not going to name names because ephedrine, a weight loss drug and also a stimulant, was legal in the U.S. But the dangers had received lots of publicity after it was linked as a possible contributing factor in the death of Baltimore Orioles pitcher Steve Beckler. So the officers pulled all the luggage out from underneath the bus, opened it up outside the bus in view of the players, rifled through all our belongings. My clothes, which had been neatly pressed and folded, were all wrinkled and wadded up by the time they finished. Thank you very little. They even brought out a dog who seemed more interested in playing than sniffing. It was basically a huge waste of time. So we finally got back on the bus and got moving again, and even though we arrived way, way late at our hotel in Quebec, the rooms, which had been booked at least 3 months prior, were not even close to being ready. So we climbed back on the bus, went out, got some food, came back to the hotel. Most of the rooms still not ready. This was part of Quebec's home field advantage because it happened quite often. So most of the players weren't able to rest up or get any sleep prior to the time we had to get back aboard the bus and go to the ballpark. Ed Noddle was so ticked off that he walked into the hotel waiting room and saw that there was a nearly completed jigsaw puzzle sitting on a table and dumped the whole thing on the floor. But Ed was going to get even angrier at what was going to transpire during the next 3 games in Quebec. He wasn't going to be mad at the Rox players or even the Quebec players. It was the umpires that were going to raise the wrath of Ed, and it wasn't going to be pretty. Be sure to click the subscribe button to follow my wild and wacky journey with the Brockton Rox, because more episodes are on the way. Thanks for watching.